Hello everyone. Today we will see another important aspect of lending. We will see few fundamental concepts regarding the principle of lending and types of credit facilities. Cardinal principles of lending. So lending involves some basic inherent risk. However, banks have to be very cautious so that this lending doesn't turn into an NPL. There are various mitigating factors the bank use so that the lending is successful and it takes care of bank's profitability also. First of all, safety. So the banks have the tools to carry out or the evaluation of borrowers' capacity to pay, willingness to pay, and income generation potential. The capacity to pay. So while you are interacting with the borrower, you understand what is his net worth, what is he doing, what are the sources of income, etc. On the basis of this, you can easily make a judgment that the borrower has the capacity to pay for the amount he is requesting for. Next is willingness to pay. Now this is very important factor. The willingness to pay or the character of the borrower. It happens the borrower has funds. However, he is not willing to pay or he is not willing to cooperate. So many financial scams that have gone in the country are due to this issue, that is the willingness to pay. Income generation potential. If he is a businessman, what are the prospects of the business? So we ask for the financial statements and we evaluate the capacity or the loan eligibility. We also ask for the salary slips in case of salaried individual. We check whether the income is regular or not, whether salary is being credited in the account or not. On the basis of this, we decide whether it is safe to lend the funds to the borrower. Next is liquidity. Now the money lent by the banks is the money of the depositors. So banks have to take care that money lent is not tied up for too long, because whenever the depositors demand for the money, the same has to be given to their account on the spot. So bank has to manage the asset side as well as the liability side. Of course, there is the asset liability committee at the central office to take care of this and to devise the products accordingly. However, the banker, as a banker, you also have to take care that money lent is not tied up for too long and can be returned to the bank as per the repayment schedule. Profitability. So, how does the banks earn profit? They accept the deposit and give some interest. On opposite to that, we lend some funds, right? The banks lend some funds and earn interest. This difference is the profitability of the bank. So interest margin of 3 to 4% between lending and borrowing rates to cover the administrative expenses. Whatever interest rate is decided by the central office on any loan product, they cover a comprehensive portfolio and they check how to generate or how to maximize the profitability of the bank. Purpose. The borrower must use the funds wisely and for productive purpose. Purpose is very important. It is a bit easier to keep a track on the purpose of the funds as far as retail loans are concerned. However, in case of lending to MSME enterprises, the banks have to take care that there is no diversion of funds. So basic aspect, how do you take care of the purposes? The inspection. First of all, the borrower also has to ensure and give us an assurance that whatever funds we are lending will be used for the same purpose only and for the productive purpose. If he is availing a loan for the purchase of vehicle, say XYZ, then he will buy that vehicle. We do have many tools, as in we make the directly payment to the vehicle vendor, we don't credit the borrower's account, etc. We carry out an inspection, we call that car to the branch for an inspection. If it's a residential flat, then we go for an inspection post the disbursement of the loan to check the property address, to check the boundaries of the property, and to check whether the borrower has purchased the same property he has requested the loan for. As far as MSME is concerned, we need to take care that there is no diversion of fund. We need to keep monitoring the CC account of the customer or the borrower that whatever fund is being used, it is being used for business purpose only. So purpose is very, very important. Diversification of risk. The banks have to diverse their risk in few concentrations. It can't keep on lending only to one sector because diversification is very important. So the banks have fixed exposure norms. We have studied the exposure norms in few chapters, wherein there are exposure norms to a sector. There are exposure limitations to individual borrower, limitations for a group borrower, and sectoral or industry specific exposures are also clearly defined by the RBI. The banks have to take care that the concentration to a particular individual, borrower or a group concerned should not exceed the defined limits. Security. Tangible assets like land, buildings, shares, bonds, etc. Banks also obtain security. First is prime security, the security that is created out of the bank's finance itself. And second is collateral security. Collateral security is the secondary security that acts as a cushion. In case the borrower defaults, the bank will have something as an extra coverage to fall for and recover the amount. 7 C's of credit. What are the 7 C's of credit as far as lending is concerned? Character. What is the character of the borrower? However rich he is, whatever be his net worth, is it in his character to repay the loan? Will he repay the loan regularly? Capacity. What is the financial capacity and what is the net worth of the borrower? What is his financial strength? Capital, the assets that are with the borrower. So whenever the borrower approaches for any kind of loan, we provide a credit information form, right? Wherein the credit information form, the borrower discloses all his assets and liabilities, and then we check what is his net worth. So that is the capital. Collateral, what kind of security the bank is getting. Conditions, what are the terms and conditions we are putting for sanctioning the loan? Apart from that, what are the conditions of the industry and all the external factors? Cash flows, what are the cash flows that are being generated by the borrower, and credit worthiness. Very important, 7 C's: character, capacity, capital, collateral, condition, cash flow, and credit worthiness. Now we will see fund-based facilities. What are the various types of fund-based facilities? First is CC and overdraft account. CC and overdraft account are like revolving credit facilities, wherein we give this kind of facility to the borrowers mostly for the business use. Cash credit is of course for business use, and overdrafts, we may give overdrafts for business use as well as for some kind of personal use. Overdrafts are normally against actionable claims, fixed deposits, or we can say they are also against some immovable property. It allows the borrower to withdraw more than the deposited amount up to a certain limit. So suppose we have given a sanction of 2 crore CC limit to the borrower, then he can keep on using the limit till 2 crore is in debit. Of course, he needs to pay the interest regularly and every month in the account. But these funds the borrower can use directly for business. Next is term loan or demand loans. What are term loans? Term loans are like one-time disbursement. Term loans can be retail loans as well as commercial loans. Retail loans as in our housing loan, vehicle loan, personal loan, etc. And what are commercial loans? Commercial loans are those loans that are given for the purchase of fixed asset, purchase of plant and machinery, or purchase or installment and commissioning of some kind of plant. Then that is covered under term loan. Term loans are for fixed period and EMIs are fixed in the term loan. Also demand loans. Demand loans, they also incorporate the FTOD loans that we provide. So the first is cash credit facility, then term loans, and third is bill finance. Bill finance includes facilities for bill purchase, bill discounting, or advances against bill for collection. So these are for those businesses that run on credit, and those who are having long credit cycles. So the existing customers of the bank, they approach the bank and ask, it's like they show an invoice of 100 rupees and they say that use this invoice and pay me 100 rupees now, and or 100 rupees or discounted amount, say 80 rupees now, and after 2-3 months our seller, sorry, or our buyer of the goods will credit your account with that particular amount. So that is bill finance. The middle amount is the commission of the bank. Non-fund based facilities. What are various non-fund based facilities? Bank guarantees. A promise by the bank to cover a borrower's liability if they default. So a customer approaches the bank to issue a bank guarantee on his behalf in favor of some beneficiary with whom the customer is having some business transaction. So the bank will give a guarantee in return that whatever contract is given to the customer, or whatever say liability or agreement is being entered with the customer, he will be honoring. If he doesn't honor, it becomes our responsibility to indemnify you. So how does bank safeguard its interest in this case? So sometimes the bank give the routine bank guarantee facility, that is, it's for the entire year. The borrower can get the bank guarantees issued and closed and revoked on revolving basis. And second is one-time bank guarantee. In return, the bank takes cash margin in terms of an FD. They offer FD. The customers offer FD in terms, suppose at times that, see, if it's not a routine facility and if it's a casual bank guarantee, then bank asks for 100% margin. So if bank is issuing bank guarantee of 2 lakhs, then the customer has to deposit FD of 2 lakhs. And in case of BG limit that is granted to the customer, there is 25% margin or 20% margin that is obtained from the customer. Next is letter of credit. What is letter of credit? So it guarantees that a buyer's payment to a seller will be received on time and for the correct amount. So again, this is also a non-fund based facility, hence it is issued in form of an undertaking or a letterhead by the bank, wherein the bank agrees that the buyer's payment to a seller will be received on time, and it becomes the bank's liability to indemnify if the customer defaults. Why are these non-fund based facilities? Because initially it is only in terms of undertaking or a letter on the letterhead. However, it may crystallize into a fund based guarantee if the borrower defaults. So banks have to be very cautious as far as non-fund based facilities are issued. Third is acceptance facilities. It allows the bank to accept the bills of exchange on behalf of the customer. So the bills of exchange are like bill of hundi, bill of lading, the lorry receipt or the railway receipts. So on the basis of the shipment, the bank finances the borrower, and after 2-3 months the credit cycle is over and the bank internal account of the bank will get credited and the bank earns commission from that. Commercial loans. What are the two types of commercial loans? First is term loan, that is, as we said, that term loans in case of business, it includes loans for purchase of plant and machinery or installment of some plant or installment of some big machinery or starting of some business. And second are working capital loans, that is the cash credit accounts. What is the concept of working capital? What is working capital? So to run the day-to-day business, each businessman requires funds, right? The entire business cycle is defined like it purchases the raw material, converts the raw material into work in progress, further into finished goods, sells those products, and after the end of the credit cycle, he receives the money. The entire capital is tied up in this value chain. So banks finance this working capital. The capital required for day-to-day operations of a manufacturing enterprise. The uses are purchase of raw material to give the daily wages, for utility bills and other operational expenses. What is operating cycle? So The entire cycle, the time taken to buy the goods, sell them, and the cycle is completed when you receive the cash. That is one operating cycle. What are the types of working capital? First is gross working capital and second is net working capital. What is gross working capital? All the current assets put together are the gross working capital. Total working fund requirements including borrowers' margins, sundry creditors, other current liabilities and bank finance. It comes under the category of gross working capital. What is net working capital? Excess of current assets over current liabilities or current assets funded by long-term funds are called, this concept is called net working capital. So excess of current assets minus current liabilities excluding the bank borrowings. That comes under net working capital. Now banks always finance the working capital gap. So if there is a working capital gap of say rupees 25 rupees, then banks finance 20 rupees and for the remaining 5 rupees, the bank asks for those 5 rupees as the promoter's margin. What is the difference between term loan and working capital? Term loan. What are term loan? The first difference is as far as duration is concerned. Duration of a term loan is medium to long term, repaid in installments that are monthly or quarterly. So mostly business loans are like ranging from 3 years, 5 years, 7 years to 12 years, maximum up to 12 years. And apart from that, the repayment is in terms of installments or EMI. And working capital, they typically 1 year. And so working capital are given for 1 year. When the operations are satisfactory, after the completion of 1 year, the working capital facility will be renewed. All the aspects will be rechecked by the committee or by the concerned authorities or the staff, and the working capital will be renewed. So basically they are sanctioned for 1 year and it is repayable on demand. If whatever is the utilization, interest will be charged and borrower has to serve the interest. So in case of term loan, there is fixed schedule. No further disbursement after initial funding. In most of the term loans, once the amount is disbursed, the borrower starts repaying the loan in terms of installments and the loan will be repaid at the end of the specific tenure. In case of working capital, it is a running account or an evergreen facility wherein the borrower withdraws some money and puts some credit and this process goes on until and unless the unit is in operation. Now term loan, no further disbursements after initial funding. So in most of the term loans, there is one-time disbursement, right? In certain term loans, wherein the business is yet to be commissioned or a project is being established, the term loan is disbursed in part disbursements. Say out if this loan amount is sanctioned is 100 rupees, then initially on the basis of quotations provided by the borrower, 20 rupees will be disbursed. After that, 2-3 months, another quotation will be provided by the borrower regarding some civil work or construction work. Again, some disbursement will be made. Till the term loan is being disbursed partly, there will be moratorium. After a period of say 1 year or 18 months, the full term loan will be disbursed and later on the repayment will start. Term loans are granted to meet capital expenditure needs and are typically provided in lump sum or occasionally in tranches. They are repaid over a specific period through installments. This is already we have discussed. Types based on repayment period. What are the types of term loans based on repayment period? Short term loans. These are repayable within 1 year. Used for seasonal or contingent working capital shortfalls and generally not linked to current assets. So banks also have the provision of granting loans wherein the business enterprises, whenever they have peak season or a season wherein their product demand is very high, they approach the bank for a help for about 3 to 4 months, and such ad hoc facilities are sanctioned in favor of the borrower. Medium term loan, that is repayable over a period of 1 to 5 years. It is used for investment that need more time to be repaid. And long term loans, repayable over more than 5 years, often used for significant capital expenditures or infrastructure projects. So big infrastructure projects, like a starting of a hospital or starting of an entire manufacturing facility putting into place. So it comes under long-term loans and the tenure is mostly like 12 to 15 years. Although banks traditionally avoid long-term loans beyond 7 years, housing loans can extend up to 20 to 30 years. Housing loan is the only exception wherein the loan is granted for the tenure of 20 to 30 years. I hope the concept of term loan and working capital are understood. They are very simple to understand, and all the best for the exams. Thank you.